Change the alternator. These are 10 mil. No, they're 10 mil on mine. That's all. Okay. Taking this out is always a delight. I'm going to push that and get it away from that lip first. Taking it out always seems to be easier than putting it back in, by the way. You can see this is kind of cracked here. That's from me trying to maneuver it, because it does not like to be maneuvered. Because Ferrari said, let's put a fiberglass wheel well in here. That'll be good. That'll be a better solution than, you know, something pliable. Okay. There we go. There we go. All right. Okay. So, to get to the alternator, I think we're going to have to drain the coolant. Oh, that really sucks. That really sucks. But yeah, I think that's the only way we're going to be able to do it. I don't think we need to take this tube off. I could to give me a little bit more room, but I don't think it's necessary. Yeah, I don't think there's any way that we're going to do that with this tube in place. I mean, maybe we could, but boy, it would be a nightmare. So I'm going to drain the coolant and then I'll be back. Okay, I figured I'd show you draining the coolant. Now I did think, well, maybe I'll just remove the pipe and not drain the whole coolant. But in my mind, it's still going to be a huge air pocket, and these things are notoriously bad for bleeding. So I use an airlift. So I'm going to have to bleed the whole thing anyway, and it just doesn't make sense for me to just make a mess over there, which is exactly what it would be when I could just do it here. You know, it doesn't make, if it would make it faster, then I would just pull that tube, but I don't think it will, because I still have to bleed it. So why, you know, my thought is, why go through that mess? Because pulling that tube is going to be a mess when, you know, I can just do it from here. Okay, so on mine, because I hated doing this the last time I did it, I put in this guy, and as you can see, it's pointed that way. So what I'm going to do, I put it up this way so that I could put that thing on. But what I'm going to do, if I can find a screwdriver that's normal, okay, is I'm going to turn it down. Just going to loosen this up a little bit, just so that I can turn it down. Make it a little bit more agreeable to turning. There we go. And I'm going to point this straight down. And try to get this lined up. It's pretty good. All right. Why aren't you draining? Oh, I know why. Here we go. So that causes a little bit of a vacuum, which is why it wasn't draining before. And there comes. So with this is way less mess than pulling it from here, which is what you would normally do. That's going to take longer, obviously, because it's not as wide as that hose. But I don't care. I'm not covered with coolant, and yeah. So I'll come back after this is done. If you want to get this valve, this is Clark and Clark. I only remember that because it reminds me of somebody else, but it's called Clark and Clark Industries or something. They're online, and I'm going to turn my fan off. And yeah, they'll hook you up. Okay, I'll be back when this is done. Okay, all finished draining. Tighten this back up. Let me turn my light on so I can see. Okay. I'll turn this back this way. And this is because if I don't, it hits my little grill that I put at the bottom. Tighten this guy back up. Tighten this guy back up. Okay. Okay, now that we've got our coolant drained, trying to think of the best way to do this. Well, let's just do it this way. The hoses are kind of in the way there. Might have been easier to do this from the top of the car, but we're here now, right? Okay, there's one. Good. And then this guy, oh, do I have to take this piece off? No, I don't. Okay. I was thinking I'd have to take this flange off, but I don't. Because I obviously put this on after I put the flange on. Okay. I think the last time I had this off, the gas tank wasn't in, so. This is kind of annoying. I think I need to take this off to get this out. Like even if I loosen that, yeah. Okay. It's really on there. Are you just turning? You are. Another thing here. Super fun. Come on. I know. Okay. There we go. There's the first one. There's the first one. So much fun. Okay, come on, baby. There we go. Okay. Okay, so this is a 17, I believe, but I only have an 18. Okay, I lowered it so we can see it a little easier so you can see what I'm doing. This is definitely a 17 millimeter bolt. I do not have a 17 millimeter wrench. I have an 18. I just ordered a 17 because I should already have one, but I don't. So if you have an 18, this will work maybe. I've had this bolt off before, so I personally would not chance it unless it, you know, like try it. If it comes off, great, but I think it's a very good possibility. Oh, I don't even need to do that. This is just a tensioning bolt. Okay. Duh. Okay, never mind, but you will need a 17-inch bolt. This is just a tensioning bolt. Actually, you do need to do that because you got to pull the belt off. Okay, and now these look like they're probably 18s, maybe. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, bigger, 19. How about this one? I'm just gonna, here, 19, 19, 18, 19, okay. Well, I don't have an extension for that, so I'm gonna go with this one, 19. That's gonna work just fine. Nope, not that easy. Please don't tell me there's another bolt on the other side. Is there? My goodness gracious. Okay, we finally have it. Okay, do we have... Okay, I'm seeing some stuff back here. So I'm gonna guess, yep, because it would be no fun whatsoever if we didn't have to hold both sides at the same time. Okay, I think that's also a 19. Okay. There we go. Okay. It is nice they give you a little access hole here. Okay. We got one bolt, or one nut, and one washer. Very nice. Okay. And now we just got to get this guy off, which is, this does not feel like it has a nut on it. Try it just like this. I don't think that's a 19. It is not a 19. 18, nope, 17. Yes, 17. washers and all kinds of stuff. All right. Okay. I know I have to disconnect it, but I don't know exactly where I need to disconnect it from. Or how. I'm going to put this up and see. Okay, so trace my wire to this guy right over here. This is a 13 mil. So we're going to take this guy off. Well, we're going to try to take this guy off. Is there another bolt on the other side? Okay. Well, you gotta give me, some leeway. Everything I've taken off on this car so far has had an additional nut / bolt. There goes that. Okay. We got a washer and a nut. And there we go. Now, this is loose. This goes behind this little guy here. This is a little drain back for the oil, for the blow-by. So I'm just gonna scooch this out while I got it up. So that I can, okay. And then we've got a plug. I'm glad I did that. We have a plug right here. It needs to come apart. There we go. Now we're done, I think. Kind of pull this away. If I can get it past. Oh. All right, I'm gonna have to. This guy has somehow wedged itself. Thank you. Against the gasoline strap. Oh my God. It's like a little Rubik's Cube or something. You gotta like turn it and twist it one way and to get it to go that way. And turn it and twist it the other way to get it to go the other way. There we go. Out because I don't think it came that way from the factory. All right. I can clean off my bench here a little bit. There's my alternator. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to take the shielding off because we're going to have to transfer this to our new alternator. This is very loose already. It feels like it's probably a 8, I'm going to guess. Yeah, I think that's an 8. I need my gloves on for this. I put my gloves on because I was doing a little cleaning of the area back there because it was pretty gunged up. Remember the orientation. Now this one has a washer and that one didn't. I'm guessing that one needed a washer, which is why it was loose. Because that was almost finger loose. So we will be putting a split washer back on. Okay. Not much point. Okay, so orientation wise, had to be that way, right? Because there's no way I would have turned it that much. Okay, so to help me remember which way it goes, I'm going to put in a divot here. Oh, it's pretty soft. Okay, so now I know that that goes down by the regulator. I don't know if that's original. Looks original, but I don't know. Okay. So next we have the other end of that plug that we unplugged. A very, very crunchy rubber housing. That looks like it's probably a 10. Let's get my ratcheting. Let's see if this is a 10. It is a 10. Okay. I'm going to try to do it this way. The other way would take forever. All right, we got that one, and we got that one. And we lift that off, and we're good to go. Not crazy about that, but okay. Now, I'm going to do a couple of things on this. One of the tricks people have is to put a longer bolt in here and then to weld this. I will be doing that. Obviously, I'm not going to do it right now, but as you can see, this is not I don't know, maybe. All right, we got a washer here. We got the arm, and we got the bolt. There we go. It needs some oomph. Okay, so I've had this off before, and I don't think I needed to use a puller then, but I don't know. I'm old, so maybe I don't remember. So I'm going to use a puller to get it off because I've soaked it with penetrating oil, and I've kind of hit it with a rubber hammer, and it doesn't seem to want to come off. So maybe I did use this before and I just don't recall. Never used one of these before. It's pretty simple. Jaws hold on to one side. You screw this down. It pushes on the shaft in the middle. And eventually, hopefully, the pulley comes off. There we go. Yeah, I definitely plated this, so I know that I took this off. I just don't remember using a puller on it before, so it's kind of weird. There's a little key right here. Keeps all this in check. Let's get a smaller one. This should just kind of come right off. Yes, okay. So this goes on to this way, like so. And then this should come off fairly easily too. Now this particular one has not been taken off. I wonder if I have to take the key out to get this out. I might have to. All right, let's see. Almost. I got a smaller screwdriver. Come on, baby. Usually these kind of come out a little bit easier, but there we go. I think that's called a Woodruff key, but I'm not 100% on that. There we go. Yep, that was keeping my fan blade on. Very nice. Okay. I've got everything off. I went ahead and cleaned that up and replated that. And cleaned those up. I cleaned my electrical cable up. I've got one of these on order because this one has seen better days. I have a little bit different regulator, but it is a Bosch. All right, so now we have to put everything back on this that we took off of that. Yep, just making sure that this looks the same. And it does look the same. Okay, got my light on. So there's my keyway. Here's this guy. And there we go. There's our first step. Get our Woodruff key. Let's see here. Okay, I finally got it in. I had to use this and a new one. I used an older one and it was a little blunted. I tried to use this, didn't have any room for it, so I used a brand new stone on the Dremel. And now that is in. Yeah, kind of annoying. All right. So the next guy we want...
So as you can see here, unfortunately, the video has stopped and frozen, and the audio is playing. A new camera is on the way, and I'm going to have to cut this and just pick it up where the video starts back up, and I'm really sorry. But basically, this is just showing me reassembling the alternator pulley, the various washers, etc. To get the nut on the end of the shaft tightened, you basically do the same thing. You just use an impact gun and give it a couple ugga-duggas, and then it should be nice and secure on there. So yep, sorry about the video freezing, but I didn't know it was doing it until I came up here to edit it. So we're going to pick this up with me grinding away the edge of the bracket, because the new regulator is a little bit different than the old regulator, and the heatsink doesn't fit over it. I'm going to have to drill that little bit to get it to fall down. I might have to do even more and bend it out, but we'll start with this and see how we go. So we're going to do probably right about there. Okay, now I could grind this off, but I don't really want to do that because that's got electronics in it, and it's just not, I don't think, the best move. I'd rather just grind the aluminum or drill the aluminum. Okay, I was going to put it down like this, but it's such an awkward little thing that I'm just going to do it like this. And at least I thought it was going to go. There we go. All right, it's tight. It's a tight fit, but it clears the little tab. I've got a little bit of space between that and the tab, so we're good. I replaced the boot. Wound up finding one at a local auto parts store, so that was cool. So it's got a little serrated what have you on it. I think this is what was there before. In fact, I'm almost 100% sure that this is what was there before. Let me pull this off really fast. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to put a washer on this as well, just because I don't want it to come off. All right. Now, if we have this on, let's see. This would go this way. Guessing something like that. Just trying to see. I think it goes in this way, but I'm not 100%. Well, we'll find out. Gotta tighten this. That looks like it's probably a 13. No. 10.
Yes, 10. All right, I may have to take that off once I put the. I don't think that's incorrect because of just the way this. I think I actually need to turn a little bit more. The way that this other wire is, I think, kind of informs where this wire used to be. Let's just loosen it a little bit. You can see this wire, it's kind of molded this way, so I'm gonna guess this is the correct way. Okay, come on, buddy. All right. Now with that holder, mine slid back a bit, so just make sure it actually goes in. Yep. And then once you've got that, there's only one place this could go, which is where it is right now. Alrighty. Fair enough. Alright. Magnets wreaking havoc. Okay. There we go. Alright. There we go.
So this is the modification of that bolt. I've taken a piece of metal and I've welded it to the top of the bolt so that when you loosen or tighten the bolt from the front of the car, that little piece of metal will intersect with the housing of the alternator and will prevent you from having to reach around to the back in order to loosen or tighten it.
And we're going to put the alternator in. Okay, so I've plated my little bolt. So now this goes into there. And then we're going to put, oh, sorry, wrong one. Or is it the right one? Oh, it feels like the right one. Okay. Oh, maybe not. Oh, what just happened? This one. Okay. Sorry. Two bolts that look very similar. And I'm old. All right. Put this guy on. And there we go. Okay. So I had to go back and look at the video, see how this thing went in. Because I didn't remember. And I had this on backwards. So that's how that goes. Yay. All right. So on the video, I had quite the tussle getting this out. So I'm going to do my best to not have a tussle getting it back in. That's my hope, anyway. If I bring this this way, maybe. No, because we're hitting a belt. Okay, there we go. There we go. See if that makes it a little easier. Gives me a little bit more room, maybe. Maybe. That's a big maybe. Put it down there. All right. Cord in. This can go in first. This can go in that way. Hey, look at that. And we're in. I don't think that actually helped, but maybe mentally. Maybe that's what it was. Was it this one or that one? I can't remember. Well, let's find it. Does it fit this? It does. Okay. So it must have been this one. Yeah, I don't think that helped at all. All right. So this guy has two little feet right here, and it goes around that guy. So we're gonna slide her that way. And then we've got our bolt and our lovely nut that we have to do from the other side. So I'm gonna leave that there because just getting the bolt through is probably gonna be super fun. All right, come on. Hey, that was easier than I thought it was gonna be. I will be perfectly honest about that. I did not think that was gonna be that easy. Yep, it's all the way through. Okay, good deal. All right, and dropped the washer. One Uno Mas attempt. There we go. And we get the nut. If you have big gorilla hands, this is gonna suck for you. I don't have tiny hands, but I don't have big hands either, so I think this was built for Italian hands. Not so big American, hands. Oh boy, and I'm not left-handed either. Is that going on? Oh, come on, baby. Nope, that just fell right down. I'm gonna try my right hand, see if I can get my right hand in there. I don't think I can. I'm going to have to do it with my left. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, this sucks. Okay, that's a little better. It still sucks, by the way. There's nothing about this that's fun. Putting this nut on. I think it's on. Nope. Okay, it's on. My goodness gracious. That is annoying. That is annoying. Okay. This is a 19 mil socket. And let's make sure it's going the right way. How did I guess that that wasn't going the right way? I must be ignorant. All right. Absolutely. All right, I loosened that 17 mil bolt there. Get the belt around the pulley, not around the bolt. There we go. Okay. So more or less, the alternator is on. But as you can see now, see my little ingenious thing there that I did not come up with. Someone else came up with it. Another very smart guy who's smarter than me. Now I can turn it from here. And this belt has to be pretty ridiculously tight. Tighter than you would normally want a belt. Like this belt is more of a normal tension. This belt, it has to get really, really tight, otherwise it slips. So I'm gonna be right back with a pry bar and I'm gonna tighten it up. And you're gonna wanna wedge it under here. And really wedge it. That's about where you want it. You see how much fun this would be having the bolt on the other side. Okay. There we go. Now that's about as tight as you want it. Like a guitar string. Now this obviously isn't as nearly as tight, but yeah, this one, from what I understand, they revised the pulley system on the, I think the quattro valve, or maybe the 328, where there's like an additional pulley up here, which prevents this, because it's not the greatest design. That's not from my words, that's from a competent Ferrari mechanic. So there we go. All right. Check your tension just in case. All right. Put that there, 17. There we go. Okay, now we're going to do our pipe. This all looks fine. Just checking it, make sure there's no cracks or any weirdness, and there isn't. Okay. This I'm not looking forward to at all, but hey, maybe it'll be easy. Maybe. Okay, don't put that flange on. Put the pipe in first. This way, yes. Save yourself from the aggravation of having to do that twice. Yes, this is much better this way. And you can see everything. Come on. Okay. The top will be infinitely easier because you can see everything. All right, now see, if you can see this, but see how close that is? You don't want it that close. So we're gonna pull this out a little bit. So that we have a little bit more room between that pulley and that pipe. All right, now we've got enough space. And we're gonna go way and that way. Okay, there we go. Okay, this is on. I stopped filming because these two you can see easily. With these, with the camera on my head, it kept bouncing into the frame and you couldn't see anything anyway. But just know this top one's gonna suck a little bit, but you know, you'll get it on. So we're good. All we gotta do is fill the coolant back up, and you don't need to watch that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. As you can see, adjusting this, like let's say I had to replace just the belt, which means I wouldn't have to take all of this stuff off. I could just slip the belt. I could just cut the belt here and then slip the belt behind here. In order to tighten this, you know, you gotta do this basically. You gotta get behind here with the original bolt. Now I can just go right here. I got access right there, so that makes it so much easier. So I would recommend doing something like this, just to make life easier on yourself. But yeah, that's it. I'm gonna come back after I put the coolant in, check the charge, make sure the alternator's charging, and then we'll be done.